At long last, Captain America Brave New World has finally hit theaters. Is it the complete disaster that some make it out to be, or is it actually surprisingly good and redeemable? Let's talk about this in depth. What's up guys, welcome to Superwise, I'm John, and that's right, Captain America Brave New World is in theaters now, and man has this movie been hit with some controversy. The misinformation going around about the level of reshoots or the film currently being rotten. It's definitely been a topic of conversation of whether or not this film would turn out good or not. Here's where I stand. I love Captain America, that trilogy is peak. The first Avenger is still my favorite MCU movie to this date. I'm probably the biggest fan of it. Sam Wilson being handed the shield at the end of Endgame was such a beautiful moment, and I've seen him as Captain America ever since that point. I really liked the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. I think it successfully fleshed out Sam as a character. I thought it was important and interesting to explore what it was like for a black man to take up the shield. So here I am wanting this movie to be good because I've defended Sam as Cap since day one. This film's reception has been mixed. Some people like it, don't think it's the greatest thing ever, but they've enjoyed it, and others think it's terrible, it's such a letdown. So is this movie bad? No. Is it a great film? Unfortunately not. Overall, is it somewhere in the middle where it's enjoyable and serviceable with flaws? Yeah, that's where I'd have to put it. There are a lot of flaws with this movie that you just can't shrug off and you're gonna have to critique, and we'll go into those. But it didn't break the movie entirely, and there are redeemable things that put it over the finish line for it to be enjoyable enough. We're definitely going to break this down, so let's start off with the director Julius Onah. I was definitely worried about him directing. I mean, even when he was first announced, I looked at his filmography and I saw Cloverfield Paradox, and I was like, surely we could do better because he gives off straight to streaming vibes and he just doesn't seem like the best pick. I felt like you could reach so much higher than him and get someone better suited for the job, and that's how I feel now. He does an adequate job of directing. There's no real style or flair here. There's a couple moments where I was like, ooh, that looks good. But for the most part, it looks like a TV movie. The lighting and framing of scenes is so poor. I mean, it looks flat, it looks boring, it looks uninteresting. There's no real depth or warmth or tone or mood to the film. It's very straightforward and very flat. And while we're in the same ballpark, the VFX is largely okay to good, but man, it gets wonky by that third act. It got real noticeable with Red Hulk, and man, that green screen, genuinely atrocious. It completely took me out of the movie. It was bad. So what I'm saying is that Julius Onah cannot stick around for a potential Sam trilogy. He seems like a really nice guy, but we have to do better. They have to improve on this. We simply need more sauce. Sam deserves more sauce, and speaking of sauce or the lack of it, the score unfortunately did not hit. For the record, I really like Laura Cartman. I like her Marvel score, I like what she did on What If, but she ditched Henry Jackman's Sam theme in favor of generic music that you can't hum, that you can't remember. Again, I really like her stuff, so I was left underwhelmed and disappointed by this aspect. Julius has to go, and unfortunately I think Laura gotta go with him. Before we enter the story and the characters, the action is of course crucial, and I was really worried by that one clip that they released. I mean, it was bad, and it remains bad in the movie. The truth is, it's kinda inconsistent throughout the movie. You'll have your bad to mediocre ones that are just too slow and don't match the Winter Soldier and Civil War peak that we know. The bar was set high, and I simply expect nothing less, so when I see a fight with Sam and Sidewinder that is just really slowly paced and Sam is not popping off the way he needs to, I was left definitely unimpressed. Then you get your good set pieces, which I was really excited and most excited to see Sam at Samuel Stern's lab. Him and the shield, no wings, no nothing, just him and his fists. And that fight did deliver. I thought that was cool, him like throwing the shield up in the air, kicking it bouncing around. It was cool. That's what I wanted to see. The hand-to-hand combat in the Cap films are just too crucial for me, and when they don't deliver, it's gonna be a problem. The Tiamat dogfight sequence was pretty cool. The Red Hulk fight was pretty entertaining. In some set pieces it underwhelmed, in others it did deliver, but the point is that it has to be great across the board. You set a standard, you just have to meet it. There's not a weak action link in either Winter Soldier or Civil War, so you have to carry that over. You gotta give Sam that same love. But now we enter characters and story, and let's start off with the titular Captain America and Sam Wilson. As I've said, I've rocked with Sam as Cap since day one, but this movie truly cements him as Captain America. I walked out and I was like, yeah man, that's Cap. Throughout the movie, you'll hear people say, hey, thanks Cap, save some for us Cap, like they're just casually calling him Cap, and it's the greatest feeling, because he's earned that mantle and it's great to see him fully own up to that role. And the film kind of backtracks on him owning up to being Captain America, like he's going through that struggle again like he did in the show, but I'd argue that it's done way better here. My favorite moment in the movie and where this film truly shines in terms of emotion and writing, which, you know, that'll lead us into the writing aspect, but my favorite part was when Sam was at the hospital. He's looking at Joaquin Torres, who's, you know, recently been injured. He's feeling low, and who was there to support him? His friend Bucky. When Bucky showed up, the entire theater was like, oh, it was just nice to see a familiar face showing up to support his friend. We have this great conversation. Sam is having his doubts. He straight up says that he doesn't deserve the shield, that Steve made a mistake, that he should have taken that serum, because I love how he realizes in that moment what's happened to Joaquin, everything, that this is bigger than just him. He's deep in a global situation, and it's been his greatest challenge as Cap yet. But Bucky's there to support him and to guide him and to say that Steve gave him the shield because he's straight up a good man. He does the right thing in spite of anything else, and he's worthy, and it was such a powerful, powerful moment. And he leaves by saying, I love you, man, and I just needed to hear that. It was so wonderful to hear that he deeply cares for Sam and will support him along the way. You can be at your darkest point and your friend will still be there for you. It was just so great. And by the way, the best joke of the movie was the payoff at the final battle where Sam is looking at Red Hulk and he's like, yeah, I should have taken that serum. Bucky's full of shit. I mean, I was chuckling. That was really, really good. We also found out that Bucky's gonna be a congressman, which sets up Thunderbolts, and I thought that was really nice connectivity. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts, and that was just nice to see the threads connecting. But yeah, Anthony Mackie has been cemented as Captain America officially, and I just love him as Cap, man. Give me that trilogy. The writing is also the biggest problem with this film. It's half-baked. Conceptually, there are some great ideas. Like, I love the gold rush of adamantium. I love all the nations fighting for it. I thought that was terrific. But the issue is, while concepts are great, the execution is just not there. They just don't commit and see things through because the movie moves at such a breakneck speed. They're not properly fleshing out what they need to, and I couldn't find myself emotionally invested in certain scenes, like Thunderbolt Ross rekindling his relationship with his daughter Betty. Conceptually, it was great. I got it, but it just didn't land. It didn't get me emotionally. You definitely got some stuff that worked emotionally, like the Isaiah Bradley stuff was just heartbreaking. I really felt myself feeling bad for the man. But other things simply didn't land because the script is so poorly paced and not properly structured. I mean, let me tell you, those first 10 minutes, I thought we were cooked. Heavy exposition and breakneck speed definitely plagued this movie and definitely plagued that opening. It started out rough, but it progressively got better, which was just a relieving feeling. The problem with this film is that it tries to juggle so many things at once. It is definitely an Incredible Hulk sequel with all these connections and ties, but it feels hollow and it feels weird because you don't even have Bruce Banner in there. They're trying to shoehorn Captain America into an Incredible Hulk sequel script. You got that, you got the leader setup, you got the adamantium setup, you got the whole rebuilding the Avengers setup. They're doing a lot of world building, which I can't lie, I was super excited to see adamantium introduced, but it does come to the detriment of the writing and the story. Finally, what I'll say on the Hulk stuff is that I've liked and defended the Incredible Hulk since 2008, so seeing the leader finally make his MCU return in this was cool, but it also didn't fully deliver. The design, the look, that ain't it. Bro's green in some scenes, not green in others. It's really, really weird. But what I will say is that Tim Blake Nelson has been inspired casting, and he really did a good job here with what he had. Same goes with Harrison Ford. That Red Hulk design is just elevated by his look. It ultimately just hurts to see Hulk storylines and characters being handed off to a non-Hulk character. Marvel really has to secure the rights because it's hard being a Hulk fan. He is an A-lister, he should be. It's just a sad reality, but going back to the script generally, you see its potential. It really does have potential to be great, but it just doesn't fully execute its ideas, and it causes the movie to have hollow and shallow moments because it's not fully there. Overall, did this film fully deliver? No. But was it enjoyable and a good time? Yeah, if I had to rate it, I give it like a 7 out of 10. I had a good time and I see the potential for the future. Sam is worthy of a trilogy. You just gotta get a new creative team, gotta get better fight coordinators, and just give Sam the respect he deserves. The post-credit scene was lazy and weak sauce, but the reminder that Sam is going to be leading the new Avengers? Man, I love that. He's Captain America, and I'm here for it. With all that being said, that's my review of Captain America Brave New World. It's definitely flawed, very flawed, but it's perfectly serviceable and enjoyable time. Room for improvement, and I'd love to see it, but tell me in the comments down below, what did you think about Brave New World? Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That'll be all for me. Remember my catchphrase, guys. Stay super wise.